Good. Okay. Let's see. I can't tell if that thing is on or not. So better make sure before I get on down the creek.
When I'm down, feeling low, and I've got no place to go, I think of you, babe, things we used to do, babe, but you're far away, yeah.
Whenever I see a limb or something kind of bobbing in the water like that, it always creeps me out a little bit. Till I get closer and say, look, there's another. That's just weird. Now in this video, I want to do something a little bit different. Instead of talking about where I'm paddling and how to get here and things of that nature, I want to talk about music. And not just any music. I want to talk about my dad's music. I call him Pop. My dad has always enjoyed music. As a young boy, he got him a guitar, taught himself to play, was in a band in high school. A few years after high school, actually owned a music store for a little while. But more than just enjoying playing and enjoying music himself, my dad has always enjoyed writing music, writing songs. And he's written many songs over the years. And he's recorded several. Never quite got that lucky break, I guess you could say, but I always enjoy his music. And there's a couple of songs, three, four songs that he recorded back in the early 70s. He couldn't remember the exact year, but somewhere from the early to mid 70s, he recorded several songs, and I've used them in my videos before. Now, some of these songs I want to talk about, they're not just some of my favorite songs that my dad has written. They're some of my favorite songs of all the music that I listen to. I have the MP3 versions of them on my phone, and I listen to them from time to time, just like I would any other song off the radio or off the CD. There's 4 songs of his that I've used in previous videos, and that probably are my favorite songs of all the ones that he's written. And those 4 songs are Jubilee, Far Away, People in the Street, and Life of Ease. I was telling my dad that I wanted to talk about several of his songs on one of these videos, and he asked me if I'd heard Life of Ease. I said, no, I hadn't heard Life of Ease. And so he sent me the MP3 of it, and I love it. It was instantly one of my favorites of all of his. You just kind of have that 70s rock and roll sound, and probably what my dad would call the Muscle Shoals sound. My dad has spent a fair amount of time over in the Shoals area, in the studios over there. But these songs that I'm talking about today were actually recorded up around Nashville. They were recorded in Nugget Sound Studio in Goodlettsville, Tennessee. That's a little north of Nashville. The studio was owned by Fred Carter Jr., who purchased it from the country comedy duo Lonzo and Oscar. Fred himself actually played the lead on one of Dad's songs, Far Away. Dad said that one day he walked into the studio and he had this Dan Electric guitar, and it was kind of a cheap, junky guitar, and as soon as Dad saw him walk in with that thing and told the engineers to patch him in, Dad was like, oh no, what am I going to do now? I mean, this is the owner of the studio, so he didn't really feel like he could tell the guy to take a hike. So the guy patched in, and He got to the lead, and he started playing that lead, and Dad couldn't believe what he was hearing. The Danelectric guitar was a cheap guitar that you could buy at Sears and Roebuck. The original guitar sold for about $78, $79. And Dad said the thing was so cheaply made that once you had it tuned to where it played good on the low end of the neck, as you moved up, it would be out of tune. And so Dad knew that when Fred Carter Jr. patched in with that Danelectric, he was just going to butcher it. But when he started playing, Dad he couldn't believe it. And he said that Fred was just an incredible guitar player. And even with the way that guitar wouldn't tune just right, the way that Fred played it, he just nailed it. Let's listen to that lead now.
You're so far away, far away. Well, if you should be feeling low.
Oh, and by the way, Fred Carter Jr. did that in one take. The Danelectro guitar, just like the one I'm showing you now, could be purchased at Sears and Roebuck for about $79 at the time. The one that's actually pictured, Dad said was currently for sale on Reverb.com for $7,989. That's exactly 100 times what it originally sold for. Far Away is probably one of my top two favorites of my dad's songs. The other one is Jubilee. And it just so happens that both of them were pressed onto a 45 record at the time, that shortly after they recorded it. In this photo, you see Pat Kelly at the keyboard, and he was a keyboard and organ player. You also see Dennis Clifton on the drums. Now, Dennis wasn't a drummer. They were just kind of clowning around for this picture, but Dennis and his band did sing backup on a couple of Dad's songs. They were originally from the Athens area. Dad said Dennis was a great guitarist in his own right, but they didn't actually play on these songs, but they did help him with the backing vocals. This photo is a shot of the studio looking towards the control room. Here's a shot of the control room showing some of the recording gear, which Dad said at the time was state of the art. Pat Kelly is sitting at the piano through the control room window. Here's a picture of Dad with his 1965 Fender Concert. He was probably recording either Far Away or Jubilee. Then here's a shot of Dad doing the vocals for one of these songs. Here's a shot of Dennis and Pat sitting at the mixing board pretending like they're engineers. Dad said one time he was recording up at Nugget Sound Studio, and this guy with long hair pulled up in this convertible and had what looked like his girlfriend with him, and she was holding her little dog, and they got out, and Dad asked someone who that guy was. He couldn't remember his name, but they said he was a famous drummer for a well-known band. And it could have been Willie Nelson. And I'll tell you one reason why it could have been Willie Nelson's drummer. There's a book wrote by a fellow named Marshall Chapman. It's called They Came to Nashville. And in this book, Marshall asked Willie Nelson, he said, what was your favorite album that he ever recorded? And Willie said, oh, probably Phase and Stages. But Marshall says in the book, what most people don't know is that album was actually recorded twice. Once with Jerry Wexler and Muscle Shoals, and a few weeks later with Fred Carter Jr. and Rick Sanjak at Nugget Sound Studio, which is where Dad recorded his songs. Now, there's several versions of the story, Chapman says, but the one he heard goes like this. After the Muscle Shoals sessions, Willie told Sanjak he wanted to re-record the album using his own band. Wexler had used the Muscle Shoals rhythm section, which included veteran session musicians David Hood, Roger Hawkins, Pete Carr, and Barry Beckett. So So after Willie said he wanted to re-record it using his own band, Sanjak booked Nugget Sound Studio, which was owned by Fred Carter Jr. So for 3 nights, November 19th through 21st in 1973, they re-recorded the album Phases and Stages. Got a tight squeeze here, but I think we can make it. As you can tell, we're still going upstream. Another one of my favorite songs from my dad, it's called Jubilee. Let's listen to Jubilee now.
Had a feeling inside me the first day we met. It was a wonderful feeling, I ain't lost it yet. Since the day that I met you, you've been the only girl I could see. And this feeling inside me says you'll always be. Jubilee, don't you cry, I won't let you say goodbye. Let you say so long for a while. Yeah, Jubilee, you hold my hand. Let me feel your touch again. Dry your eyes and let me see you smile. I've got to leave you, but it's only for a while. And I'll miss you more and more with each passing mile. But I'll be back beside you before many days have gone. Then we can begin anew to share the love we've known. Jubilee, don't you cry, I won't let you say goodbye. Let you say so long for a while. Yeah, Jubilee, you hold my hand. Let me feel your touch again. Dry your eyes and let me see you smile. Jubilee, don't you cry, I won't let you say goodbye.
Now let's listen to People in the Street.
The crowds of people pass me by with a blank stare in their eye, staring down at the cracks in the street. They can't see past the toes of their feet. See the people in the street stumbling over their own feet. Don't worry about your fellow man, just let him do the best he can, yeah. All they think about is living today. Tomorrow it seems is still far away. The future is entirely out of range. All they worry about is the things they can't change. See the people in the street stumbling over their own feet. Don't worry about your fellow man, just let him do the best he can, yeah. They only cared about their own needs.
The last song we're going to listen to is called Life of Ease. Here it is.
You've been living a life